Hello, my name is Elazar Meroz and I am the Director of Studies of Tav College. I would like to welcome all students to the Fall 2020 academic year in this virtual orientation. What makes Tav College stand out is the close relationship that the college fosters between teachers and students, making your academic success our objective. But as much as we make it our objective, you, the student, need to take ownership of your education as you now progress from being a high school student to a post-secondary education student. The post-secondary experience is different than the high school experience. You are more independent, you need to take more ownership of your education, and this level of independence just will grow as you progress from CEGEP Year 1 to CEGEP Year 2 to university and so on in your academic objectives. In order for you to succeed through this process, you need to be informed, you need to be aware, and you need to apply yourself. So part of this orientation is to give you the information that you will need in order to make this experience the success that we all want it to be. So let me address a few points, a few questions that certainly are in everyone's minds. The first is, how will education be delivered? This is a question that we received a lot, and we've been giving answers that have changed, as have many colleges been doing, and the changes that we have been, changes that we've been forced to apply are very much a function of the changing reality, and that reality continues to change, and it may yet change. But generally speaking, we are pretty confident that what we are looking forward, at least for the fall semester, is a semester in which the education will be given largely online. Not exclusively online, there will be on-site presence, but most of your classes will be online. We understand that for some students it's not what they had hoped for or what they anticipated, but I would emphasize that there are some benefits in online education. You do not have to worry if you're sick. You don't have to worry about catching a virus or transmitting a virus to loved ones. You will be able to get your classes from wherever you are. Some time will be saved on your commute. And maybe the best feature of online education is, well, you have the ability to replay a class. If you missed a concept or if you want to hear it again, all of our lectures that are going to be delivered online are going to be recorded and you'll have the chance to review it. So, though it comes with some disadvantages, it comes with advantages, and we hope you'll focus on the advantages and the benefits, and that you use those benefits to your maximum potential. Now, since the courses are given online, many students may be asking about access to the building. Well, the building is in fact open. The advisors are going to be here, the office staff is going to be here, students will be allowed to access the building. Parts of the building will be made available for online, will be available for studying. They might be available for laboratories. In many classes, laboratories are required, because in courses where on-site presence is required, there will be some times where you will be asked to come. It might be for tutorials, it may be for specific exercises, certainly for laboratories, maybe for examinations and tests. So you will be able to access the building for those, at those various times, but in order to access the building, the access to the building will be under very specific and strict guidelines. When you come in, we will be logging in who comes into the building, so there will be a login process. Probably we'll be scanning your ID cards. When you come in, you will have to wash your hands with alcohol. You will be required to wear a mask as you enter the building, and you will not be allowed to enter the building if you do not have a mask. Once you get into a classroom for an exam or for study space, you will be allowed to remove your mask. I emphasize that removing your mask or all of the other regulations that we are informing you about are based on information that we receive from public health. If public health changes those regulations will obviously be changed in terms of the application of your entrance into of your access to the building. So we don't expect significant changes, but we are ready for them and prepared to adapt to them. Another thing which I would like to talk about is the difference between high school education and college education. And there is quite a big difference between high school and college education. High school education, and I'm sure you must have seen it as a student, as you progress from elementary to high school, you had more responsibilities that were taken on yourself as a learner, and as you move into college you're going to see even more. You will have lectures and you will have support and there will be labs and tutorials, but you now are a little bit more independent as a learner. And this is the beginning of you becoming an independent learner and proceeding and progressing to university studies. But I think one of the most important features of the difference between high school and college is something called the R-score, or the cote R. And the R-score is a measurement of your performance. Now, you might have been accustomed to letter grades or number grades, and number grades are still going to be present. You will take a course if you do not get the grade that you want. Well, if you do not get a 60, then that would be considered a failing grade. If you get a 70, that's obviously better, and a 90 is an excellent grade, and so on and so forth. But really, your grade is evaluated by another number, which is the R-score. It's a number that will vary between 5 at the low end and up to 40-something at the high end. Universities will not look at your mark, your actual grade, in determining admission to a program. They will look at your R-score. So what is this R-score? The R-score is a measurement of your performance relative to the rest of the class. So you can't go into class and say, oh, well, I'm just happy enough passing, or I got a 70, it's a good grade. No, you must learn to become very ambitious in your expectation of your academic performance. And you must be ambitious because you need to be able to do better than everyone else in the class. Now, we understand that some students will do better and some students will not do as well. But you need to make sure that in terms of your philosophy, in terms of your approach, is that you are aiming to do better than other students. You cannot be that student who procrastinates. You cannot be the student who submits his assignment late. You cannot be the student who, whatever, just throws together whatever he needs to just in order to satisfy the requirements of the course. You have to be on top of the course. You need to be prepared in advance. Go in ready to learn, to support the information that has been given to you. You read every single text that the teacher gives you. You do every single assignment that has been suggested, and this way you will perform well, get a good R-score, and be able to have admission to university. So I don't know, I can't emphasize this enough, how important it is to be on top of your game right from the beginning. And that leads to another change when I say right from the beginning. Your college experience, if you're in a 2-year program, is basically 4 semesters. At the end of the 15th week of school, you've already completed your first semester. 7.5 weeks into the term, you already have your midterms. Things go fast, marks come quickly, and if you procrastinate, you then will be left with grades that are going to remain on your transcript, and you will regret the fact that you did not put in as much effort as you should have. So again, I emphasize it. I hope you take it to heart, and those of you that do will do very well. Now that I spoke about R-score, that leads me to exams. Now, I mentioned earlier that exams would be on site. I want to talk about this again because I need to emphasize how important it is for us to do exams on site. And the reason we want to do the exams on site is because of the R-score, because what we are evaluating is your performance relative to other students. Fairness and equity must be very much the driving force behind the way we organize our evaluations. So evaluations will be on site. You must come in. The only time we will accept for students not to come in on site are under very exceptional circumstances, and in most cases what we will be doing is having alternate examinations at a later date. For students who absolutely cannot come in, those will be dealt with on a case-by-case basis. We do this not because we are trying to we are not trying to trick you. It's not because we are trying to make your lives miserable. It's because we want to make sure that the experience is a fair experience and that you do not feel any frustration that, in terms of evaluation at least, the college has not been fair with you. Some students have been accustomed to receiving special measures accommodations from high school. Anyone who has been receiving special measures accommodations and have evaluations that justify it, we at Taft College respect all special measure requests if they are justified. We have a special measures office, so it's very important that those of you that are supposed to have access to special measures contact the college. You are to be put in touch with the special measures office. The paperwork and the documentation has to be brought in. Special measures are not just handed out because a student says he wants it or likes it. There has to be evaluations in the file, and that again brings us back to fairness and equity. So we feel that special measures is part of fairness and equity if there is an evaluation that justifies it. Some students might be missing credits. It's just a small point I would like to mention. Students who've finished high school but are missing up to 6 credits might have been admitted conditionally. I want to again emphasize that if you've been admitted conditionally, and the condition is that you must complete those missing credits at your high school, that you satisfy those conditions, because if you do not, we will not be able to re-register you for the winter. Those conditional admissions are 1 semester admissions only. I'd like to end off by saying I really hope that this will be a very positive and growing experience for you. We do regret that it cannot be the same type of experience that we've had in past years, but we hope to make the best out of it, and that hopefully this whole episode of the virus and COVID will be behind us, and we'll be able to come back and all be together in the building and get to know each other face to face.